Ladies and gentlemen, my name is DJ Mainstream, the voice of the voiceless, patent pending, and this is the All Elite Week review of last week's Dynamite and this past weekend's Collision. Trying to keep this as going as much as possible. Getting to the point that I may end up doing this after each show rather than try to do it collectively for the week. We're still calling it All Elite Week regardless because it just makes sense and it's catchy and I like the name. So we're going to start with this past week's Collision. On Twitter, if you're a Twitter follower of AEW or Tony Khan, he occasionally, I think he hasn't done this in maybe a month or two, maybe more, where he'll announce a random match for the night of event. So Twitter was locked in seeing that Speedball Mike Bailey and Jon Moxley was going to have a match. But before we even got there, we got to see MJF to do his backstage spiel. I'm very curious of how we're going to move forward with MJF, getting him to cash in. But I guess it'll get there as we move forward in the rest of the evening show. Moxley versus Speedball was a great match. I love seeing Speedball Mike Bailey in the situations where it's against high-level talent like Jon Moxley. Not saying that we're putting him in the AEW title picture, but they are very adept working different styles with other wrestlers. It's seen if you've watched Speedball on the independent scene, you know exactly what I mean. So this match against Moxley was honestly expected, but great to see. It was a great showing. Next up, we get Tony Storm and Alex Windsor have a backstage promo, not back and forth, but promo leading up to the later that evening, the Fatal 4-Way, where one woman will represent AEW in the Forbidden Door Fatal 4-Way for the CBS Championship against Mercedes Moné. The other members of that 4-Way will include someone from CMLL, and also Stardom, which I think is great. I think I just talked about this last week. Let's actually make it more of a Forbidden Door, not AEW. Oh, yeah, New Japan is there. Okay, that's great. But it was a good match as far as the 4-Way goes. Alex Windsor did win. I said it once, I'll say it again. Put your stock in Alex Windsor. Please put your stock in Alex Windsor because she is worth the bet. Still great showing either way between the rest of the members of that 4-Way, Queen Aminata, Billy Starks, and Sky Blue. I'm starting to notice that the prominence they're putting in Queen Aminata, regardless if it's the fact that Jamie Hayter is out or not, Queen Aminata steps up every time you put her in the right position to show off her skills and her chocolate kisses, but that's neither here nor there. But it was a great match, and overall, all four ladies showed out. We did get a little bit of a confrontation with Mercedes coming out, showing off all her belts. I think it's absolutely astounding the way Mercedes has grown into this obnoxious heel that the real life, I guess you say hate that she gets online for having so many belts. Like she's not defending them. She's defending them. She's showing them off and elevating each company's belt that she has, including AEW's. So regardless of how you feel about it, I do think eventually she loses them, but I love the fact that her coming out here, having the refs help her take the belts off, it was a great little tidbit of showing it that, even this past, before Dynamite, she had just won the title. Like, 8 belts Monet is a real thing. It's going to be very interesting how her character goes forward. The Young Bucks wanted respect before their big match against Brodito. And damn it, they did not get any. You had callbacks to their TNA names when they were Max and Jeremy Buck at Generation Me. You still have the video program, the video board, Titantron or whatever you want to call it, showing them losing at All In and the typical Windows 96 or whatever. I may be older than that. The EVP sign getting slashed through, bouncing around the screen. I think it's hilarious. The whole thing was a joke. I think we need to keep this going. Let's dig deeper into all the Young Bucks lore to continue to let them to be the butt of the joke in AEW. I love it. I'm here for it. What I I loved throughout this show was there strong promos that led to further storylines. For instance, Don Callis and that obnoxious and dude, shout out to Mel Coleman for having the energy, the confidence, and the stomach to get that painting done. I don't care what Don Callis says. Let's respect Mel Coleman. That painting done of Don Callis holding the strap. Oh, that sounds so wrong to say. Holding the the TNT Championship while basically naked Kyle Fletcher is standing next to him in the oil painting form has to be one of the most. I mean, I feel like it's more obnoxious than the Don Callis Kenny Omega picture a few years back. This one was worse, much worse. But the fact that he got the chance to really hone in on him wanting to have this very dominant, very strong TNT championship run, I'm here for it. And showing off the power of the Don Callis family. Okada's not even there, but his belts are ringside. Listen, fuck Don Callis, but fuck Don Callis, man. He's really doing his thing with this Don Callis family. So kudos to him. It also led into a promo from Adam Copeland. Again, I love what we're doing with getting this promos going backstage and giving them the time necessary to build these storylines, which led to a challenge of the man who don't get no hose because he's bald. Stokely Hathaway getting a one-on-one match against Copeland on next week's Dynamite. I don't know how that's going to play out. I know that man's going to catch another spear, but it was a great promo, and I'm looking forward to the match. I'm looking forward to how they're going to play around with this whole situation with Copeland having that restraining order against FTR, or other way around. But you know what I mean. That led to the actual match of Young Bucks versus Brodito. Honestly, I did not see Brodito winning. I literally was about to tweet out, what did I call it? I was going to say Max and Jeremy, Generation Me, whatever, Young Bucks in 4. And I swear I thought the Young Bucks was winning that. It's fine because I love getting the idea of having mixed up tag teams. Brodito, who just linked up, 6-7 weeks ago? Having this hot shot to the finals against a legendary team such as FTR, give me more of that. And that's great for the setup of their match next week. I hope, listen, I have a feeling FTR is going to win, but I hope there's some way to keep Brodito going because I'm here for it. The handshake and all that, I'm here for that. That, of course, led to MVP officially kicking. We got the thumbs down on the Hurt Syndicate. I know the reports came out through Fightful. I think Wrestle Purist also shared it as well regarding MJF storyline with the Hurt Syndicate ending early. I'm actually okay with it. It is completely fine that MJF is not in the Hurt Syndicate because there's so much other things he can do solo, going along with other members of the AEW roster without having the Hurt Syndicate being his buffer in a sense. So I'm cool with it. We got down to a Swerve Strickland promo. Again, as I said, I love the promos. He is not lying, ladies and gentlemen. Regardless of how you feel about Swerve Strickland personally, there will never be another Swerve Strickland. Let me just let y'all know that now. That man will be, within the next 2 years, a 2-time AEW World Champion. I am not sure. I think I said this to a friend on Instagram. I am not sure he wins against Okada at Forbidden Door. I'm not sure about that one. But it was a great promo, and I'm looking forward to the match regardless. It led to the end of the night, the grunge match between MJF and Mark Briscoe, with MJF obviously winning. This was a great match. Again, I'm tired of people saying anything they need to say about Mark Briscoe. But just like Tony Khan said himself on social media, I would have loved to see the Briscoes wrestle on Dynamite. Rest in peace, Jay Briscoe, man. But I would love to see them wrestle on Dynamite. We didn't get that. So we should appreciate the time we have with Mark Briscoe while he's here and give him his flowers for these main event matches, these high caliber matches, these world title contenderships type of matches where you're looking at this man as a future, future world champion. He took the L. That's fine. I think we do eventually get to a point where Mark Briscoe is getting into that, if not even world championship reign. I would love to see him go against Okada for the unified title if Swerve loses. Just keep Mark Briscoe around in that main event, and we're good to go. But it was a great Dynamite. I realized I did miss the Chris Statlander, Willow Nightingale, Queen Aminata backstage promo, which led to the upcoming Trios Women's match that happened on Collision. But I mentioned it already. Chris Statlander, I know I said I wanted to do more, but I'm hoping they're not trying to flounder her character, because if that's the case, with her coming out in the middle of the Willow and Queen Aminata promo, it's time to get Willow Stat back together. I don't know how. I don't know what we do. Give me Willow Stat back together, please. Give me the Long Island, the Strong Island girls back together. Because again, as I say again, for another week straight, it is time to introduce the AEW Women's World Tag Team Champion. Did they just announce a title Tuesday? That sounds like a perfect time to have an end of a tournament or debut the titles themselves. It's time. And Willow and Stat should be firmly within that realm of getting a shot at those women tag team titles when they're introduced. I also didn't get to mention Hangman leading his support to Mark Briscoe, even though he lost. I still, again, think we're going to get eventual Mark Briscoe, Hangman Page, one of those respect type of matches. I'm here for it. A really hard-hitting match against two Virginia boys. Give it to me. I'm here for it. That led into our collision this past Saturday. I had mentioned it last week on my All Elite Week review. Give me bangers. And Tomohiro Ishii and Kyle Fletcher gave me a banger. They gave me a very brutal, a very hard-hitting match. I loved everything about it. The only thing I will say is that promo at the end, and even Don Callis' promo after the match that Kyle Fletcher won, them calling out somebody strong for Forbidden Door. If it's against Tanahashi, throw in the fact that it just announced Kyle just signed a long-term deal with AEW, then you just realize, I hope everyone realizing watching this, you're putting Kyle Fletcher in very rare air at the top of the card, even though as a TNT champion, by giving him Tanahashi at Forbidden Door. The trust level is absolutely insane for me. And I think that says a lot for Kyle Fletcher's growth from being a part of United Empire, being a part of Aussie Open, to now being one of the headliners of, and let's be honest, he is, outside of Okada, of course, one of the and Henchicero, because that man was looking like whole, strong style Poppy in all black on Dynamite. But Fletcher being that guy, the man in Don Callis' family, I'm here for it. That was a great match. Him versus Tanahashi would be great for Forbidden Door. Let me get that. The whole beatdown backstage of Gates of Agony and Ricochet, which led to the later of Ricochet getting a match on Collision. I hope that with this happenings of all these teams sticking together, because I love AEW being a company of factions. I'm adoring the fact that we're allowed to put people together with all of a central purpose of winning championships. Ricochet will eventually be either TNT champion or unified champion, and maybe within 3-4 years, AEW world champion. Maybe less. But we need to give Gates of Agony a chance to be christened a tag team champion, because outside of their 6-man tag team championship run in Ring of Honor with Brian Cage, about a year or two ago, the fact that they haven't touched gold since irritates me. And I really think they are primed to not only be AEW World Tag Team Champions eventually, but I would love to see both of them and Ricochet eventually Trios Champions, because we're starting to build up a lot of 3-man teams like LFI, who were in the main event in this card. We're building a lot of 3-man teams that, We might as well have a tournament for them too. Let's make it. Let's rebuild. Like I said last week, let's rebuild the idea that AEW is the home for tag team wrestling, trios wrestling as well. There's nothing like a good tag team match. Gates of Agony shows that every time they go out there, which of course lead into my conversation of a trios match of FTR and Big Stoke, who gets the hose, but definitely got the pinfall against some local talent. Shout out to my guy Joe Keys. It's a lot to sit here and put together a collision card, and there's so much talent there that even when you have a jobber match, which there were several, like Megan Bang beating Emily Rose, shout out to and Helico being the producer on that match, and even the eventual match of FTR and Big Stoke. Give me more of that because I want to see more of this roster flourish on both shows. And if AEW Dynamite is going to be treated as like the main show, give me Collision as the B show with matches like this where everybody gets on, because I'm loving what I'm seeing, especially when you get Max Caster going out there and doing his 5 minutes on the clock for his Who Can Survive the Best Wrestler Alive, or having Big Bill and Brian Keith being highly upset. I don't know what they're going to do with Big Bill and Brian Keith, by the way, but I like them to stay together because I also thoroughly enjoy the big man, the like I said, little man. No offense to Brian Keith, but little man, big man dynamic. I don't want them back with the learning tree if Jericho comes back. So if you're going to do something with them too, I like this dynamic. Get Brian Keith to be the cool, calm, chill, angry guy, but Big Bill's the one that was kick your head off. So I like how they were doing that dynamic. Poor Lexi though. Please watch out for Lexi. Harley Cameron also got her a promo. I love that fact that she used interpretations of the mask for her to wear her mask because of what happened with her nose. Hopefully we see her again soon. I would like her to be back in that TBS title. I said this about Megan Bay too, but I'd like to see also Harley Cameron back in the TBS title picture as well. I can't wait to see what they do with her character. You can even slot her into the AEW Women's Tag Team Championship realm as well. Against who? With who? I'm not sure. But Harley works so well with so many people. It's hard to say specifically who she could work with. Just put her with somebody and let her work. Because when she's on the screen, there's genuine emotion that comes from people with Harley Cameron. And to me, she has one of the most fire entrance music that she ever done in Inspiration. If you don't know, now you know. Again, now that goes back to me mentioning my man Big Papi, Henchicero, who beat AR Fox. Shout out to AR Fox getting consistent time on TV. I need more of that. But him and Henchicero was a good match. It was a wicked submission. I don't know where Henchicero pulls out these submissions, bruh. Like, the man has a Game Gear cheat code book on how many fucking like submissions he can do to you to make you tap out. It was a good match. He tapped AR Fox. I'm very interested in what we're going to do here with this technical showcase they're going to do that they announced for Forbidden Door, where the winner faces IWGP World Heavyweight Champion, or World Champion, I should say, Zack Sabre Jr. at Forbidden Door. It's Henchicero. This was announced on Collision. Henchicero, my guy Daniel Garcia, Lee Moriarty, shout out to STP, and Nigel McGuinness. Now, all four of these men are going to show up and show out. I'd love to see a special, all four of them get trapped in a submission and figure out who's going to tap out type of move going on Wednesday. If we're building this towards Nigel McGuinness to get a title shot at Forbidden Door, I'm fucking here for it. What I would love to see Lee Moriarty against Zack Sabre Jr. I would love that. Because we are owed a Zack Sabre feature on Ring of Honor from back in the Impact Zone days of Ring of Honor. If y'all know when he confronted Samoa Joe, when Samoa Joe was television champion in Ring of Honor, and Zack was TV champion in New Japan. I need me a little bit of Zack Sabre Jr. on Ring of Honor, just for the one time. I don't care when, I don't care how, for the one time. That eventually lead into the Triangle of Madness. I love all three of these ladies together. That match they had, again, with the aforementioned from Dynamite of Queen Aminata, Willow Nightingale, and Ty Mello. It's time, ladies and gentlemen. Because if we're going to continue to build a Triangle of Madness, then that means we're building to the fact of them being possibly the dark horse, not even dark horse, the favorites. Because now they got new Titantron. Shout out to Mikey Ruckus. They got music now that's all correlation to with them. If it's building to them being top contenders for the AEW Women's Tag Team Championships, then so be it. Because while Julia and Sky Blue already had that chemistry, Tekla brings so much new energy to this trio. I love what they're doing with Tekla. I would love to see what they do next with them three if it's going to lead into tag team contention when the belts debut. Come on, TK. You're going to get this every week from me, brother. I need to see those titles. That eventually led into Shibata kicking the shit out of Max Caster. And that's where we're going to leave it at. And then the AEW World Champion, Chris in Roanoke, Virginia, where they was at Collision with Jet Speed, as they won their match, which I loved everything they were doing together as a trio. Sent the crowd home happy. I love the fact that Hangman he's like hitting the ground running. He's like, no matter what, I'm wrestling. There's a little bit of a tidbit of backstage recording from Speedball Mike Bailey's, I guess it's YouTube. I haven't subscribed to it. I will after this show. Where Hangman said, "Rush it's hard." Yo, I love everything about this version of LFI. Shout out to Jose, the assistant, because I miss you, my brother. I love what they're doing with LFI. Keep featuring them. Keep featuring Rush. Drilistico was great. Beast Mortos is Beast Mortos. Shout out to him and every roar he's giving me every time he goes out there. But it was a great match and overall a great collision, and I enjoyed it. We have a lot looking forward to going to Forbidden Door. I do hope that we eventually solidify what we're going to do with Hangman at Forbidden Door with the world title. I'm hoping, like, there's prayers to Will Ospreay that he can also make Forbidden Door. I'm wondering what they're going to do with him as well. But either way, we're going to have a very exciting week coming up. Again, episode 7 should be dropping soon of the Bell to Bell podcast. But in the meantime, this is DJ Mainstream, the voice of the voiceless, and this has been the All Elite Week.